Hello there, engineers. How you guys doing out there tonight? Hope you guys are doing quite well tonight. We've got an exciting little update just in time for you guys, ready for your festive holidays. It's only a small one. We've got a new sector installed for you, and we've got two little new contracts for you to explore as well. So we're standing by with the release is coming out shortly, and you'll be able to access this new sector. So let me just double check, make sure you guys are hearing me all right, because I am not, I'm not the most experienced streamer out there. So just to quickly recap, welcome everyone. I hope you're all doing well. I'm a bit too low. I'll adjust myself up a little bit higher for you guys. And tonight's just going to be a nice little session where we explore this new sector. There's not a ton of different things in it, but there is some new contracts, and it's a new little area that would be quite tasty to explore here as well. So I'll just put my volume up ever so slightly. If I'm deafening you, let me know. There we go. Are we any louder now? There we go. I'm always so quiet when I'm doing these things. Yeah, I'll be the only one joining us today since it's just a small little update. Lovely. There we go. Volume is still so low. That is great to know. We're twisting this audio knob to the max. Maybe we're just gonna have to get closer to it. That might be the only way. Oh no, I'm too loud now. We're doing our very best. So hopefully I'll speak into the microphone. Just keep letting me know how it's going. But tonight it's a small little update. We've got the contracts, 2 more contracts to introduce, and we've got the new sector that we're going to take a little bit of a look around. We're going to have a little bit of a fly into the area. We'll have a look at the new station in there, and we'll also have a look at it from the perspective of a player who's completed both the Chemic and the Verdure sectors to 100% as well. No, so we're not. No, so we're still not loud. Ah, right. Well, let's see if we can adjust it a little bit and tweak our audio. So let's see if we can turn ourselves up a little bit more for you guys. We'll adjust that there and see how that is. Hopefully that's a little bit better. I'm just gonna have to listen to myself back a little bit as well, just to try and work it out. Okay, right. It looks like we're in a sort of all right spot for the audio. If there's any more issues, then we'll adjust things a little bit further as we go on. But if you are paying attention to your Steam library, you'll notice that there is an update coming on its way, where you're going to be getting them 2 new contracts. But there is some other information that I wanted to have a quick chat to you about before we get started as well. If you're interested in getting your hands on a Space Engineers 2 plushie, the campaign now has been extended to the 30th of this month, so get over there, get yourself a really cool Space Engineers 2 plushie. And on top of that, thank you guys so much for all the awesome feedback that you guys have been providing to us. It's really been helping with these updates, especially with your feedback on the contracts. What sort of contracts you guys are enjoying playing, what sort of contracts you guys want to see in the future here as well. So I'm just going to get the game booted up in the background as well. Hopefully it's going to be the latest version that you guys are ready to play. And how are you guys feeling with this latest sort of VS2 update? Are you enjoying planets? Are you enjoying the sort of survival foundations? Are you hungry for more? Get this loaded up here. So we've got 2 new contracts. Yes, 2 new contracts in this little update, as well as a new sector for you guys to explore. And I'm just booting everything up, making sure we're as up to date as possible. We've got some players that are saying they're loving it. I'm loving it as well. To be honest, I've been loving crashing into things. I know there's so many people as well getting water and breaking all the water out there as well. So there's some people requesting to bring stone back. I know that as well. We've put the discussion in there. If you guys are openly discussing these things as well, get over to our support page, leave the feedback, support some of the other sort of ideas that other members of the community are building as well. And of course, I know you want more. I know you want everything. It's such an exciting time for Space Engineers 2. And we'll do a little bit of a recap when I've got this booted up as well. We'll do a little bit of a recap of how the year's been, what we've had to expect from Space Engineers, but we might have to move the microphone over a little bit because I've moved it too close now. And let's get this booted and suited. So let's share our screen. Let's select a nice little screen here, and we want to share Space Engineers 2. And then we will transition over to Space Engineers 2. Let's have a look. Okay, that is the one. So here we go. Now this is an unusual setup for me because we're streaming one PC to another PC, so that I can use both cameras at once and make sure everything's ready to work. But we'll load into this 100% progression game that we've got loaded here over on Chemic. Yeah, there is also some new fixes as well. There's some limited fixes. I'll briefly cover them as well in a moment as well, while things are loading up. So one of the new bug fixes is, so when offline, a generic message will display before opening any screen. But there's also a few other little things that I recommend you check out in the changelog for yourself. Okay. World is now open. Hopefully it's not too loud. It's quite loud in my eardrums. We'll give it a little bit of an audio lower on the master there as well. So we're actually above Chemic here. And if we jump ourselves onto our map here, we'll be able to soon tell if Aaron has updated it. So there we've got completed this sector to 100%, we've completed Chemic to 100%, and that would naturally open up this Obliviara sector station section. Hopefully I pronounced that right. I'm rubbish with pronouncing names, you guys are aware of that. So it's opened up this sector right here, and we're going to want to be able to jump to that. So to fast travel to that, we're going to need to be in our ship. So let's see if we're updated and ready to go. But before we do that, let's head aboard this little station here and see if we can access any of the new contracts. The update did just go live, so I'm just making sure my game is as up to date as possible. So we've got some of the other contracts stored here away, and I'll just quickly check my Steam as well while I'm waiting, just to make sure I haven't missed the update. No, it looks like we've not got any update blocked up there at the minute. And we'll go back into the game, and then we've got the sabotage contract here. So let's take this thing off, jump back in our ship and see if we can have a fly. So no in-game sound. We might be able to adjust that in a minute. I'll quickly pull up some of my options here and see what we can tweak. So we'll switch there to the game to that option, the sabotage contract here, and that might have given you some desktop, some audio. Jump back in our ship and see if we can have a fly. If it's not the correct sort of audio and it's just playing general in-game stuff in the background, let me know. Okay, right. So we're back on the landing platform, and we're looking for our small ship that we've got over here. We're going to bring this off the landing pad and in to space a little bit, and then we'll see if we're able to fast travel. So as I was kind of recapping before, guys, so we've got 2 new contracts and we've got a new sector to explore in this little update. So let's see if we can fast travel to the new sector. Let's hit it. Oh, okay, right, so we're not up to date just yet. The update's still being wheeled out. So we'll just have to have a bit of a chat and a chill while we wait. Maybe take some of your questions. We can have a little bit of a Q&A section while we wait for this update to drop and get to me at my end here. I didn't want to run a dev build or anything. I wanted it to be, you know, as raw and as exactly how you guys would experience it as well. Okay, let's have a look. Yeah, so there's a few of the discussions that I've noticed that the community have been talking about. The want and the desire for stone is something that's popped up quite a bit. Lots of players really wanting stone back. But it's interesting for the people who are in the chat here as well. Is why do you want stone back? Why do you feel it's such a critical part, you know, of the infrastructure for Space Engineers, for instance? Is there new materials in the sector? There's still the standard set of materials everywhere for the minute, since we're still in the foundation stages of building. jump back into game here as well, so we can just enjoy a little bit of the view of Chemic while we observe and have a look at some of your discussion. Yeah, so it does seem like a really interesting debate, because there seems to be a very heavy like Team Stone who want Stone back into the game, and then there's also a group of people who don't want Stone coming back into the game because it just clutters inventories. And from kind of my perspective as well, I've always seen players just, you know, throwing it out of their ships, like binning it off. Let's have a look what you guys are saying. Stone makes you allows you to make static drills at bases, get resources. Otherwise, so perhaps it's a lot of discussion more around, you know, using the stone as like a base resource to, you know, so you could just melt it down and make some basic components out of it. Yeah, so like some of you guys are saying, it's like a guaranteed source of some of the most basic ores. Yeah, it's interesting. It's really interesting. Maybe perhaps we need like an 07 in the chat for I'm Team Stone and I want it back, and an 08 in the chat for let's keep Stone out of Space Engineers too. See what you guys think. See if we get more 07s to keep it, or 08s to get out the chat. And I've also seen this, a lot of people talking about they want Stone because they want to add concrete in as well. I've seen that in a lot of the support tickets. So all quite an interesting one. Let's have a quick check and see if this update has come through on my end just yet. Okay, still not got this update through. I'll just have a quick check with the team. Let me know, guys, as well in the chat if you guys have got the update through. Okay, so we've got a lot of 07s in there. A lot of people wanting to bring back Stone. Hang on, there's a few 08s coming in there as well for getting rid of Stone completely. Yeah, lots of 07s in there. Interesting, very interesting. Yeah, but keep that feedback coming in, guys. Look, our dev team are picking up this feedback, and they're really trying to understand, you know, what is important to you guys and how to balance the game. And because briefly talking about balancing as well, I don't know if you guys had spotted Splits's video the other week talking about balancing of welders and tools. It was quite an interesting sort of take on things, and what was nice about it, it was really sort of well laid out. It was a video that went into a lot of detail about the balancing of welding, grinding, and production. Of course, there's a lot more to come in the future, and that might explain some of these features and the reasons why we've done some of these things like this as well. I will sort the sound out if I can. It's one of the most difficult things to sort on these streams, especially when I'm relatively new to getting both of this dual sort of PC setup running. Some people are saying stone to concrete, plenty of iron. I'm just keeping an eye out for this update on my end. We'll jump back to a little bit of we'll have to go to the trailer rotating cam for a minute while I shut down the game and quickly try and get things running. So we'll transition across over to here to our lovely VS2 trailer. And then I'll shut down Space Engineers here in the background and see if we can get this new sector unlocked. It's an extremely exciting time for Space Engineers, having the foundations of survival being put together like this, and allowing you guys to get involved at this early time. And it was something when I was on the community side over for Space Engineers 1, and I decided to get involved at that early point in the game. You could really see and feel, you know, the community shaping the game and assisting, giving feedback and ideas. So as we always like to say, guys, we really do value your feedback and your support, so please get on that support portal. And how are you guys feeling? I'm curious as well about the distance of the welder and the drills from when you're interacting with material. This is something that we've been discussing as well. Is the distance something you like, or do you feel like you need to be a bit closer, a bit further away when you're welding things up? Okay, let's see if we can get this update running. Yeah, perhaps something that you guys would like to see is more polls on our Discord. This is something that I'm playing with the idea around at the moment as well, is running more polls for seeing how you guys are feeling about the different settings that we're running. And of course, Space Engineers is always one of them games, especially with our veteran communities. Our veterans always want as much customization as possible. So for getting some of your feedback on here about welding as well. Very nice. Some people saying it feels a little bit closer. That is some of the feedback that we have been reading as well. But it's interesting. Here's an interesting thing from our development standpoint. It's a lot more of the veteran players who feel that the welding distance is closer. A lot of the newer players, perhaps that because they don't have anything to compare it to, feel that the distance is correct or even quite realistic, because you need to get quite close. If you've ever done any welding in real life, you have to obviously make contact with your little bit of welding rod to actually get things working. Some people saying about drills needing to clear more voxels. Is there anything else as well, guys? Why are you providing some feedback here? It's like that would be an interesting point of discussion. Why I'm booting things up. New contracts, that's another one, isn't it? What contracts are we having on top of the existing ones? A bit of sabotage, a bit of destruction. I was thinking of maybe some shady contracts, perhaps. You know, like traveling with some uranium to one location to another, blowing off someone's engine bay thrusters. Ingots as well, another massive discussion. Yeah, we've seen a massive discussion about ingots going back and forth. I know the veteran players absolutely love their ingots. Pirate contracts, I like the sound of that. And we are back in game, and I'll transfer it over in a second. And let's get that screen up and running. Okay, and final, let's see if we can transfer over to in-game and have a look at these new contracts and new areas. Okay, and transitioning back. Here we are. Okay. So we're back on the Chemic Station. The update has taken place. I know some of you guys have already automatically downloaded it, but you'll only be able to experience this next area if you completed both Chemic and the Dir to 100%. So let's jump over there and have a look. You might not have too much audio. I've turned the audio really low down because it's really heavy on my end. So we'll switch over to that. Make sure I've got the chats open in the side so I can see what you're doing as well. Okay, so if we head over to our map now, we have this new sector with no information on it at all. So my mission for tonight is I'm going to travel over to this sector and do some contracts over there. Okay, Kermit, sorry. Where's the ship? Where did I part the thing? Oh no, I've not left my ship somewhere, have I? I think it's over here. There we go. Yeah, maybe probably should have docked it for next time. Let's have a see what you guys are saying as well. Disassembly feature, please. Or bring back ingots. Okay, let's open up our jump drive link and head to this new sector. Here we go. Ooh, a new discovery. So here we are. We're out of this little station. Let's hit the deck here. Touch our landing gears to the ground. Try not to scrape it up too badly. Okay. I think I've scratched it a little bit. We'll leave it off the ground. And then we're going to head into the station here as well. If you guys are pro ingots, let me hear as well in the chat of you know, why you're pro ingots, rather than just that we had them in Space Engineers, you know, 1, for instance. I want to hear why you feel ingots are such a crucial part of the building chain. And then also, you've got to remember the sort of battle that we've got to have about making the game more accessible for new players. And without ingots, it allows players to jump in and get building. So, okay. So we've got an engineering contract here. And this one is actually 50% of this sector. The sector's colonization requires a supply base, manufacturing site, and a mining site. Okay. We need you to set up antennas and power systems to these sites. So let's accept it and head out over there. Okay. Back into our ship. And we'll head the 31 kilometers to our active contract, giving us a bit of time to have a bit of a read of the chat as well. Okay, some people are saying ingots are just a logical step. Ingots are definitely like a realistic take, adding a step to the production. Diggerrock has got a good point here as well. I mean, we've got to let them designers do a bit of cooking behind the scenes. I would love to tell you some of the plans and some of the things that we've got prepared for these features, but it's always hard to tell you guys to wait and see what's happening next. But one thing I can tell you is in 2.2 we are giving you fully customizable key bindings. I know it's been a while. I know you've wanted it sooner, but they are coming in 2.2, so you'll be able to rebind your keys, and players who have wanted that will be able to have that. So let's just enable our inertial dampeners there, and then we'll cruise towards the target. And that's the other thing as well. I know a lot of players are talking about optional settings and wanting optional settings in-game as well. But one of the challenges with having so many options is then, you know, you're building like multiple games kind of on top of each other, and the designers have to then work out systems for all these options as well. So options can always come later. But at the same time, you need to keep your sort of design perspective in one direction to start with, or else it'll just go completely crazy, you know, in all directions. Just like Space Engineers 1 went, where we were developing one thing one way and then something else went the other. And then next minute we ended up with planets and economy. Yeah, so this is just an asteroid sector. It's like a little bit of a, you know, a little bit of a holiday extra, an extra area to complete for the players who completed it. And I think when I last checked, I think it was 37% of players had completed both the other sectors. And it's a good point as well there as well. For the things that we don't do as well, modders will always attempt to do them. So if you're into a very sort of particular niche, oh, that was close, a very sort of niche setting, you know, that's something that modders will build as well. But we're going to try and round out these core systems and expand from the foundations that we've got here. I've seen a contract idea come in here as well. And I've seen we see them HOTAS comments as well. We know them players want to fly their ships realistically. You have to add that to the support site and keep that keep that one fed so the developers know. Well, I think one of the biggest debates is, and I think I'll pose this to all of you guys in the chat here, is Space Engineers 2 more accessible than Space Engineers 1 in terms of getting you into the game and getting you started? And I think the answer, in my opinion, and a lot of the team's opinion, is yes. A player with, you know, a lot less experience doesn't need, you know, the hand-holding of a friend to jump in and start building and feeling the reward of Space Engineers. Okay, so we're here. We have got some antennas to weld up, and we've got this cargo container with a battery pack inside to sort there as well. So lots of people saying definitely more accessible. Is there a few people who would argue that it's less accessible? That would be interesting. Okay, so we've got motherboard. We've got some other components that we need to build. We've got some things in the ship as well that we can use, but we could also have a look for some copper nearby. Oh, but we cannot produce. See, that's the thing. Even with the backpack building, there is some materials here we can't simply build. We'd have to go back and collect the heavy-duty plate and the motherboard. So let's have a look if there's any copper around with our drill first and see if we can complete that little order. And then we might have to go back to our station and do some crafting elsewhere. I'm interested. Someone says less accessible because no ingots. How does that make sense? More accessible? I mean, the thing is, the example I always have a bit of a laugh about here is, there might not be any sort of copper on this asteroid, is if you gave this game to your mum or your girlfriend to start playing with you, pretend there's multiplayer in the future and whatnot. If you give it to them, could they start this game and start playing? And even hold them side by side with space engineers. If it was space engineers, for instance, you'd have to hold their hand through the experience, and a lot of players fall off, and that means less players, in the community overall. Okay, and then this one is gold and iron. And then we've got the radio. Let's have a quick look to see what we've got aboard the ship as well. And I do understand all the calls for a build planner. And a build planner is definitely something that we'll be looking into in the future, because it's a must, especially with a memory like mine who constantly forgets what he's trying to carry around. Okay, let's have a look at heavy duty plates, see if we've got any of them aboard the ship in this container. Okay, so that's our battery container. Let's jump ourselves in the sledge. I'm actually going to have to get a notepad out, I think, and write down what I need to collect to do this contract. The combination of trying to focus reading the chat, remembering what I've got in my inventory. Okay, so in the cargo container, have we got some heavy-duty plates? Let's have a quick look. No, we don't. But we do have some copper, don't we? Let's grab some copper and move that to our inventory, but there we go. This won't be enough, I don't think, to complete this. And there's a lot of, I'm seeing some of you guys also say make backpack building less efficient, and take longer to build things. And then there's also some shouts I'm seeing in the chat as well for Minecraft style building, where you put something together to assemble like a chest. And we've been feeding all this information back to the developers. And I'm sorry if I'm just staring at the things and not constructing. It's I'm not the fastest multitasker and reader of all the chats all at once. Okay, so have we got any motherboards? Let's see if we got any motherboards in here. I don't think we did. Oh, we do. Good, good, good. Let's bring them out the ship. Luckily, the ship was packed with a few supplies. And I'm reading some of the comments here. It's called Space Engineers. Engineers in caps. Right, there we go. And we just need some heavy-duty plates. I just don't think we've got any. We might have to go back and produce some heavy-duty plates. No, we've just got the basic steel plates. Oh, no, we do. Yes. Okay. Thank you guys for spotting that out there. That was me jumping between two of the screens. Okay, so that is the battery module built. And then we've got the antenna to construct up here. So that needs the radio comms components, iron and gold. We'll jump ourselves back in and see what you guys are saying. Okay, back to the inventory. Let's offload a few of these and a few of these steel plates. Let's not put them in the cockpit though. And then, oh, I've already forgot what I needed for the antenna. That's why Aaron needs a build planner. Okay, iron and gold. There we go. Yeah, some good points about recycling though as well. I know a lot of people would like to recycle components into other things, reverse the process. Okay, so we'll grab a bit of that, and then we'll head back up to the antenna, give that a weld. I mean, there's a comment here. So more accessible, dumbed down for the mass appeal. Do you really think that's the case, or do you really think that? Have I think about it like this? Is like a lot of players who get into these games, if they can't enjoy the game straight away, then they just fall off. They just stop playing. So why can't we give them an opportunity to expand, get stuck into the game, then play a little bit? Okay, and then we need a little bit of gold that I don't think we've got. So like the introductory series gives you that little bit of a story. It gives you a reason to build that I think is super important. I don't know if you guys agree or disagree, having that reason to build something. The contracts do exactly the same. Give you that reason to construct. And the reason to construct also allowed you to build, some funky things. Let's just get all that back in there. And then we've not got any gold on board, have we? So we're going to have a hunt around these local asteroids for some gold. Let's just grab our drill out and see if there's anything on this one. No, there isn't. But it's also be interesting. I've seen a few guys in the chat as well. Is what got you guys into playing Space Engineers in the first place? And do we have some players in here who are, you know, purely Space Engineers 2 players? I mean, I know the majority of you guys are veterans, most likely, from Space Engineers 1. Interesting as well. 4Piece says contracts are for newbies. Do you think so? Do you think when contracts are expanded and you start building bigger and smarter ships, or there's even contracts that involve combat, do you think they'll really be for new players then? It could be just a case of, you know, letting the designers cook up a little bit more, let them devs get some more contracts in and expand. Okay, let's have a look at this asteroid. So we're on the hunt for gold. And remember, my memory is like a goldfish, so we're not going to remember these things. Okay, there we go. Keep an eye on our hydrogen because my other monitor's blocking the corner of it out at the minute. Okay. Because the sort of theory that oh, hang on, there's a little station down here, a little abandoned outpost. And there's some iron down here, iron silicone. Look at that. I didn't even see that. That just kind of popped out of nowhere. Any gold around this place though? Because the other thing is, with the complexity of Space Engineers 1, that's a really nice thing to discuss, is if you're like a player like me, the complexity of, you know, the game got added over time, so you kind of grew, you know, with the complexity. So it started out relatively simple, you could only do a few things, and then over the years they added more and more features to it, where if you didn't kind of join at the start, then it felt like thousands of features all at once thrown at you when you start playing. And that's why you need a tutorial sometimes. You have to go onto YouTube and find, you know, the latest and greatest tutorial on how to play Space Engineers. What am I looking around with a welder for? I'm not going to find anything there. Okay, so nothing on these. Let's grab back in our ship and have a bit of a fly around, keep looking for that gold. Finding gold with finding the gold with welder was really dopey. That was because I was reading the chat. I just saw a tool in my hand. Yeah, usually I'll tell you a little bit about my building sessions. They usually late in the evening. I put some music on, and I just have a little bit of fly around, a little bit of building, and I just chill out. We've got one player here that's started the Space Engineers 1 less than a year ago. And you need a tutorial. I mean, it'd be interesting in the chat as well to find out what you guys how you would want to be introduced to Space Engineers 2. So let's have like a situation where there is no intro to Space Engineers 2 or a Space Engineers game. How would you want to be shown the ropes? Would you want to be shown the ropes through a story? Through like a boot camp where it's like, Get on your feet, engineer, and get out there. Oh, uranium. That's quite good. But not what we want. Not what we want. Okay, we probably should need to plot these asteroids as well, or else we're going to keep missing them. Let's head over to this one. But with like a lot of features that you guys are mentioning, these will come in time. Combat will come. NPCs will come. And what I always like to say to players as well is, like, you know, it's that constant delivery of features. Like when we first said, right, planets are on the way, guys. Okay, stay tuned. And then planets arrived and you guys were like, oh, wow, these are actually really cool. Like, you guys know that wars is on the horizon, and there's lots of content creators who are, you know, have already got them in some way or another. They've got them into the game, you know, using the admin menus and whatnot and kind of hacking them in. So you can see the potential of what's there in the future. Because there's some interesting story ideas as well. I also saw some players the other day talking about wanting to build on the story of Space Engineers 1 or the very limited story and talk about, you know, the Automatron faction. Maybe they could have a bit of a play in it. I've seen some of the comments as well about the tutorial, you know, being a nice addition, but it probably should be optional. Okay, so there's nothing here to check. Okay, let me keep an eye on my hydrogen as well and my batteries. I think we've got enough batteries just in case. Just got to pilot this ship very carefully. If you've driven this sled ship around, then you know how you've got to be careful. Silicone. Okay. More silicon. Any gold in here for me, please? Yeah, it's like some of the players are saying here is like it's just a matter of time as the features get added to Space Engineers 2. And there'll be a turning point, as we keep saying, is like, right, that feature that I wanted in Space Engineers 2 is there and arrived. And it's my time to get into it. And there is a good question here as well, is how come the tutorial doesn't teach players to build ships? And that is something that's being discussed hotly at the moment. And some of you are saying it'd be nicer to have a campaign introduction. Okay, so we've not got any gold here, have we? We're going to have to keep looking a little bit further away from home. Let's head over to this one. See if there's any gold there. But of course, as these all expand on, you know, when the unknown encounters come in, the NPCs start to interrupt. I mean, you've seen the pictures of the Gatling guns coming in future updates as well. So exciting times, especially for destruction. And if you're like me, it's all about building weapons. But yeah, it seems like a lot of you are in agreement that a good campaign could teach a player all they need to know to start out. And I know some of you are waiting for them more advanced settings. So am I. The pistons, the rotors. Oh, gold! Gold, yes! We've got it! Yep, more planets, more star systems. Basically, with this planets update, it has just been the foundations. It's about getting our footing out there and also getting our feedback from the players. There's the gold that we need. But I am loving seeing the ingot discussion, so, you know, kind of go a bit further on, especially on the support site, and seeing the players that are pro ingot and the players that are against it. But like Diggerot said before, is, you know, let them devs cook a little bit, see what they've got installed before you make your decision. Because I always know, like with any game, when there's a sequel, you always kind of end up as a player wanting the same game over again. But something with Space Engineers 2 that Marek and the team are determined to do is you know, set it in a slightly different direction and try to sort of evolve it in not in a new direction, but in a direction where we're setting something special, just like the water introduction and all the challenges that are going to come around that. We don't just want to make another Space Engineers one. We want to make another Space Engineers game that is really, really, really cool to play. Okay, I don't know how much gold we need, but we also probably need to make a GPS here as well. So let's just quickly load up this cargo container. Okay. We'll get a bit more because gold always comes in handy for a lot of different systems. Okay, let's load this up and head on back. Okay, load that in. I always feel like we need more. We'll get a little bit more. Okay, there we go. So if you guys get yourself a favourite biome, a favourite location, where have your bases been, you know, being constructed? Personally, for me, I'm a sucker for a cave base. A cave base is the exact sort of spot I like to live. Oh, there's an unknown signal over here as well. Let's have a quick look at that on the way back. Alternate start training camp. Yeah, that was something we had a good discussion about. Like, if you remember, the classic FPS start was always like some sort of boot camp where you'd have some, you know, in this case, an engineer drilling in what to do. Exorcist is a home in the mountains. I do like the mountains. I especially like the snowy areas where they transition into the sort of more mountainous trees area. Oh, hold on. What's that? The swamp. Shrek swamp. Yeah, I've been thinking about some little ideas of mini missions that we could do with the community here. And I've come across a way that we can stream multiple perspectives. So we could do like a race to the relation station or something where, oh, here we go. Whoa, bit of space debris. Let's dock it in. Where we could get a few different content creators or a few different players in and then see who can make it to the relation station the fastest. But we've got a few exciting competitions on the horizon. There's also a screenshot competition because Space Engineers 2 is just so beautiful to look at, especially when it comes to taking screenshots. So what's in here? What goodies have we got? Let's get our ship a little closer. Yeah, so some of the things that I'll just quickly go over again. Remember, our plushie campaign is running, extended to the 30th. So if you want Space Engineers 2 plushie, there is still time. Let's have a look in here. Okay, so that's the antenna. We've got a battery, some battery components. Is it just a bit of debris? Debris. Every time I say it, I think of cheese. Okay, so there's some containers here as well. No, that's not a container, that's a module. That's a container. Let's have a scrap at this. Okay, some steel plates. Is there anything of value here? Not really. Just a bit of junk. Unless I've missed something. But luckily I didn't hit this at too much speed. Yeah, it's nice though. It's nice coming across a bit of debris like this. Only if it was more dense. You know, imagine extreme density with an asteroid field. And I know Marek hinted at in the interview as well of one day having orbital mechanics. I could only imagine what craziness that would cause. Okay. We'll see what else, if there's anything we can really scrap here and take back. And we'll have a look at that for scrapping. That might have something useful on. Oh, there we go. I do like the new voice. I don't. How do you guys feel about the new suit voice? I quite like it. Okay, we'll jump ourselves in the cockpit and load from the cockpit. It's a bit easier. And over to our inventory we go. We'll stock them up. Got a bit of that to dump in the bottom there. Let's see if we can combine that stack. Let's do a little bit of management. Another motherboard. Power modules. We've got them in another container, so we'll just keep that on us. A few steel plates and a few motors. Let's head back to our contract and see if we can complete it. Oh, the antenna. Yes, yes. Good point. Good point. Let's take the scrap from that antenna. I do like a bit of salvaging. It's always nice. I mean, I like salvaging when it's a bit more deadly and there could be pirates lurking, but you know, perhaps for the future, eh? Oh, it's not really got that much though. It's just got the electrical parts. What's that over there? That's just a conveyor, isn't it? It's got a steel tube though. Just checking for anything worthwhile tech. No, I don't think there's anything else there. Let's jump in our ship and head back. Some people saying they don't think the game needs orbital mechanics. Interesting. Right, let's head back over here. 17 kilometers away. How are you guys doing? Have any of you managed to get to the new sector and explore it? Oh, there's another sector there. You can see there's a jump lane now that's locked. 13%. Colonization index unlocked. Well, Stone, just to answer your question about do we know how many sectors are planned, we can roughly look at the map, but I know we've discussed behind the scenes that this could change as well. There could be more sectors added. There could even be player sectors added, so sectors that, you know, a player could then build their own sector onto the existing map. Because this map is always changing in terms of sectors, shapes and sizes, like the locations of some of the planets. Like, for instance, we moved Kemet closer to Vajur. just, you know, to make it easier for this fast traveling at this foundation point. Oh, hold on. Do we need to recharge or something? I can't see it out the corner of my screen. Hold on. Let's just put the brakes on for a second and see if we need to recharge. Okay, so up here we have got some modules. And we've got one power cell on us as well. Let's just double check where our power cell is. Okay, so we've got the atmospheric thrusters. I wonder if there's anything we can turn off as well to save some power. We've got the solar panel that's also helping us get a little bit of juice. And we've got the H2O2 generator on the side there. We could, I guess we could add some more batteries to this design as well. We'll make it back before we swap our power cell. And then we can swap the other power cell out. So at the current moment in time, to answer your questions about the sectors, if there'll be planets in all sectors, and the answer is no, there won't be planets in all sectors. There's going to be something of interest in each sector, but there could also be a case of asteroids, you know, debris fields. There's so much that could happen in space. But also, that's another good point of feedback. Let us know what sort of things you would like to see in sectors. You know, some of the planets have already been discussed and, you know, plans for them in the future. Oh, hold on, we better slow down a bit here. This is how we crash straight into an asteroid. Many of you have probably done the exact same. Okay. Give it a bit of rear thrust. There we go, slowing down nicely. Yeah, I always like, I can't think of the movie that comes to mind. Oh, it's Firefly, isn't it? Where they're flying through that debris field and, you know, all the asteroids are moving. I mean, that's obviously the dream, isn't it? But even just having loads of asteroids close together so it feels like a bit like a canyon run, you know, would be cool as you're evading pirates or another players in the future. Okay, here we are. Is this the same place now? Yes, it is. I thought then I'd accidentally come across another location. And let's park that right there. Okay, so some people are giving the new sector a go. That is nice to hear. And now we should be able to weld this up. Oh, hang on. I thought someone had robbed the parts, so it's just that we've not got any of the bits on board. So let's go and grab our gold. First thing first. Inventory. Grab our gold out. And we'll head back over. Solar flare, that sounds like a really cool idea for a sector. Keep them coming in the chat, guys. Canyon run. Because I know we were discussing about racing missions the other day as well. It's like, would you guys enjoy playing a racing mission? Okay, right. That needs to be iron, and then I need the radio comm parts. Let's see if we've got some of them aboard. Radio comms. No. Okay, I've been playing too much Space Engineers 1. Every time I switch back, I always like, oh, what's the different shapes of everything? So we've not got any radio comms either. I think we might have to take a trip back to the ablation station and pick some supplies up. Let's see if there's any radio comms on this little ship. that we can steal. No, we cannot. Okay. It's a nice little chunky ship, though, this. I really like some of the ships that the devs come up with. It does look like a bullfrog. Got that chunky little thruster on the front, gyroscope on the side, cargo container. Let's have a quick look inside it, see if there's any goodies in here. Oh, okay. What's that? Oh, very nice. So the supplies we actually needed were hidden inside the ship all along. I know some people as well are discussing about the HUD as well. Like some feedback on the HUD layout I think would also be quite cool. So we've got iron. Let's try and offload a few more of these components first. Okay, so we don't need the construction components. Let's just dump them in there. Steel tubes, don't need any of them. They're really heavy. And get some gold as well. Okay, and then we can head back and rip a few more of these components out of here. It was handy that all this was in here. I bet there was gold in here as well. No, there wasn't gold in here. That would have been really annoying if there was. We made that trip for no reason then. Have you guys experienced the interesting little feature. If you stand really close to an antenna, you can hear it transmit a secret message. You might have to stand there for a few moments. But I know you can't hear it. It's not really loud enough for you. But try it. Stand next to a radio antenna and listen for the secret message to play. Now we just need iron and gold. Alright, let's pick that gold back up. Some people discussing how the hood needs to be laid out. Okay, and there we go. And now just a little bit of iron. Oh, it's completed anyway. So, the reactor on the manufacturing site was left unfinished. Use the supplies in the shuttle to construct... Oh, no. That's probably why we need it. Let's have a quick look. So, we're going to have to pilot this little shuttle across. Let's deconnect that. Okay, let's take this shuttle across. Why does it look like it doesn't have any rear thrusters? I know some of you also were talking about contract ideas where they provide you with a ship as like a test pilot. So you would jump in that ship and it could have something, you know, missing, like a gyroscope or thrusters in a direction. And then you'd have to obviously report back to the station that, you know, it was missing that feature. Okay, let's head back over there. I know I've also seen quite a lot of feedback as well around the gravity indication as well. Just keep like, all I can say is keep the feedback coming. The devs are constantly assessing it, and you know, at the moment some of them are away on holiday. Once they get back from the holidays, there'll be a big pile of, you know, information to read, support tickets to sort, hot fixes to correct. And we're nearly over here now. I know there's a lot of people were missing the sort of things on the hood as well, where you could preset things in the hood, but that's just something for the future there as well. Remember, we're still only at the foundations. Okay, so this is the manufacturing site. Let's see if this thing will stop first. We're probably better off bringing the other ship, because I probably had more supplies on board. I just wanted to see how this little bullfrog decided to fly. That's a good point, though, using the GPS markers so you know your altitude. Okay, so let's see what this needs. I do like these little outposts. Can I have that light on, please? There we go. A bit creepy in here, isn't it? Okay, reactor. So we need some heavy-duty plates. We need some copper, motherboard. I think that was pretty much everything that we had on the other ship, but we'll see what's in here. Okay, let's offload a bit of that gold. Okay. Ooh, they are heavy. Because I know another thing that I saw players discussing was the, you know, the size of the inventory. And some players were saying it was a bit too small. Some were saying it was a bit too... Well, there was not many saying it was a bit too large. But it'd be interesting to see what your guys' feedback is there as well. Heavy-duty plates. We might just stash some of these things in the assembler. Yeah, we'll stash a few of these things and then we'll fly back for the rest of the stuff we need. Okay, we'll take them and pop ourselves back out. Yeah, imagine that coming in here and he was being alien or something. Okay, heavy duty plates, motherboard. Let's use the motherboard up, we might as well. Okay, and we've got some copper wire. Did I just put my welder in there by mistake? Okay, and then we just need the reactors that we've stashed in here. Okay, and then the motherboard that we should have in inventory, and reactor is online, so we didn't need to go back. Use the supplies in the shuttle to construct it, and look for uranium around the manufacturing site. So there's got to be some uranium around here. Ah, oh, that's easy. Let's see if it's back down here in this creepy mine where I'm going to be abducted. Any loot in here? Ah, yes. That's what I like. I like a crate when there's loot in it. There's nothing more sad than opening a box and there's nothing inside there. I never thought Space Engineers would be like a, you know, a looting sort of experience, but I guess it can change. Into this cavern. So it's 20 meters. It might be on the other side of the asteroid. Oh no, there's a little hole there. I see it. Let's try and dig our way through. And here we go, the uranium we needed. It would be interesting as well to find out in the chat how many people have got through the introductory sort of area. Maybe even can colonize a complete sector. Is there anyone in here who's colonized a whole sector? Made it to the Valation station? Maybe make it to Chemic? Okay. Let's head ourselves back through that little hole there. Well, congratulations if you made it through the first one. Making it to Chemic is a bit of a bigger achievement, I would definitely say that. And then especially touching down on Chemic for the first time. There's something magic about, I don't know if you guys agree with me, is like coming across a new planet when it lights up on the screen and says, you know, new discovery. So there's the reactor. Let's go in this cargo container. Dump a bit of uranium in there. We still need to get the lights on here. Is there like a backup battery? Ah, there is. Oh no, that's a smelter. Oh, here's this as well. Dump it in there. I thought all the panels were blocked off, so we weren't able to dump it in. There we go. I'll just walk straight into the wall then. Okay, let's dump some uranium in. There we go. Powered up. Okay. So what have we asked for? Construct the marked battery and antenna for the mining site. Okay. Is there anything worthwhile in here still? So we've got that. We'll pick up them. Oh, we'll offload a bit of this back in our other ship. Right, let's head back over to the sledge and we'll offload some supplies. Because another little point that is quite cool is the battery interchange out. I know lots of players have been loving pulling the batteries, and I've even seen a player who's created a battery interchanging mod for Space Engineers 1 as well. Oh, we are zooting through space now at some speed. Some people, you find the new discovery message kind of funny because a massive planet appears in front of you. It's like, yeah, duh. Oh, what's that going across there? Got a little safe zone off there in the distance as well. Let's see if we can slow down in time. Use that big reverse thruster. There we go. Yeah, you might have heard the doggo in the background. Excited for the new update. Alright, let's put that on the deck. And we'll offload any of the extra supplies that we've got into our grid here. We've always got to have a good bit of salvage on board. Let's just stack that. Got organise our inventory as nice as we can. Oh, that's a different sort of steel tube, isn't it? That's a pressure pipe. And then stick the gold in here as well. Okay, perfect. Let's just offload a few more goodies from inside here. And what are your guys' bases turning out to be? Are you guys building big ships with all your production on board, or are you building off the starting platform? Okay. Get my inventory back out. Get a few more of them. The gold thread might be useful. We'll take the motherboards. Oh, we might take as much as we can. Is there anything else we can rob from this station too while we're at it? We'll have a look in a moment. Right, okay, to the last part. This is probably the last part of this little contract area. Big ships. Some people are building big ships, big platforms. See, I always think it's nice to have a static base to return to, somewhere where you can dock up, you know, you can have some supplies, but I know there's a lot of people who like to live quite mobile. Yeah, I agree. Big welders are on the way to weld up your ship, because that's another thing as well when we talk about balance, is when ship welders come into play. We'll see the balance of welding change again. Oh, let's hit the brakes a little bit. Use that rivet thrust. There we go. Use the big thrust to slow down. It's a bit like a Santa sled, this, isn't it? There we go. It'll be also interesting to see what people's bases look like now compared to future updates, because of course now they'll look really simple. You know, you just got your basic sort of production up and operational. You've got yourself some solar or battery systems running, or maybe a uranium reactor. Okay, here we are. So this was the place we accidentally discovered, by the look of it. Yeah, this was the place we accidentally discovered before, and it's through this little hole there. Okay, so this is another battery cell. We just need some copper. That is online. Batteries are up operational. Is there any gold or anything in this chest? Yes, there is. And then we need to head 30 meters up that way. Let's actually have a little bit of an explore inside here while we do so. There's so many different shapes of asteroids though as well. Ah, and another antenna. We've got a bit of gold on us. We've got a bit of iron. And there we go. Antenna constructed. Objective 2. Unknown signal. The antenna is picking up a faint signal inside nearby asteroid. Please investigate the signal source. Let's head over there and check it out. So some players are saying they like to build from the starting point, because I think the first mission that you get, the first contract, that gives you a little bit of a platform, and it gives you a platform next to the the Velation station. And from our testing as developers, we found out that most players like to build or stay, of course, close by to the Velation station, because they can fast travel from it. So in multiplayer, it'll be interesting, how that'll all work in the future, where players will live, how they'll survive. But you'll have to stay tuned to find out that in the future. Is there a little asteroid hole there? Yeah, so just to recap what this live stream is about, it's the release of this new sector right here, Obliviara Station. And then we've got the connection point, so we can fast travel to here from Velation or Chemic. But to be able to unlock this sector, you need to get 100% on Chemic and 100% on Verdure. So once you've unlocked them, you'll unlock this new sector. And this also has the addition of 2 new contracts. So it's just kind of a little extra little bit thing, for the festive season. So you've got something to do if you want to complete another sector to 100%. Of course, there's a lot more coming later on. Oh, slow down, slow down. And we're in. Oh, the 4th sector on the map. Well, it seems like we're unlocking them in this direction. So maybe we're going to go clockwise around. Ooh, Helionis. Helionis? Is that perhaps how you pronounce it? I wonder if there's going to be some valuable resources there. Of course, I know we've discussed this before, how all the sectors at the moment have all the resources, or some have a little bit more than others. But over time, the sectors will be balanced with different resources, so it requires moving to different sectors to find the resources that you need. Oh, don't ask me how to pronounce that, the new sector. We can try our best. Obliviara? Oblivia, maybe? Just maybe Oblivia. Maybe we're overthinking it. Obliviara? Take your best guess. I'll ask the designers themselves for the official pronunciation. Let's jump through here. Okay, so this is the mysterious station. Oh, and there is nothing in that barrel. Okay. What is this place? Do we need to power it up? We've got batteries already plugged in. Deliver the unknown ship back to the supply base. Seems like whoever set up the base was excavating the asteroid and left in a hurry. Please retrieve the small shuttle back to the supply base for study. Salvage parts from the Bullfrog cargo shuttle if necessary. Okay. So this is so they give us a junker, basically. So they give us a junker and we need to get it outside. Now I think it'd be more convenient to probably drag this thing out than fix it up. I don't know if you guys agree. Should we drag it out or should we try and fix it up? Okay, let's have a quick look in there as well. Another container. Ooh, A chrome coating. We'll get some chrome coating. And another battery cell there as well. Okay, so these interior walls, let's scrap these down. And there's our ship on the outside. Yeah, I agree, guys. We should drag it. I mean, why would we make a new... Why would you fix a ship just to give it them back? You know, if we're really trying to salvage out here, that's exactly what we've got to do. I mean, I know some of you sort of really tech-savvy ones you'd probably rip everything off the ship and just take the cockpit back. Oh, the cockpit's not in good shape, though, either. Okay, so let's take the risk. Let's cut this landing gear off and stick it on our other ship to bring it out. And then we're going to have to be very delicate indeed, and not break anything. Okay, let's dump a few of these bits out too. Okay, keep our inventory as lightweight as possible. Perfect. And there we go. Let's cut this off and be very gentle because we don't want it floating. Okay, gentle. Okay, so that's cut off, and we can now take them components and build a little landing gear on the front. Do you think this is going to work, or do you think we're going to end up ripping the whole thing apart? Because that thruster on the back of this is not a delicate ship, the sled, is it? We'll put that there. Get ourselves our little welder out. I still feel like I build like I'm playing SE1. Oh, hold on, what's going on here? Where's my welder? Oh, we've got a Mark II welder, that's why. Okay, there we go. Blueprint it. Okay, let's try. And first off, will we fit in the hangar? It's not looking like it, is it? Maybe because we put that car container on the roof. Oh, we might fit. No, I don't think we're going to fit, are we? It's a bit... it's a bit tight, that. Oh, maybe we could get rid of this lower ramp here. Yeah, we're going to have to do a bit more deconstruction. Here we go. Let's check my messages coming through as well. How are you guys finding it if you're managing to boot things up? You all managing to run it easily? We heard we had one crash before. Just a... Oh yeah, do a remix of that song. Right, let's drop some more stuff off in here. So that's just batteries up there as well. We could cut that off. Who needs extra batteries, eh? Yeah, okay, that's getting in there now. Yeah, this is... Oh, no, we're too wide. Right, this is going to be like a comedy sketch, this, at the end of this. Right, I've got it. I've got it. I've got a better idea. Let's make a big stick, and then we'll stick the stick in through this hole and extract the ship that way. Like, that sounds way more logical to me. Okay, let's get our steel plates out. What are we doing? Oh, sorry, not steel plates. We need some light armor blocks. Okay, let's cycle through and make sure we've got some nice armor blocks there. No, not the colour wheel. That one. We just need our pokey stick long enough to reach through. That might not be long enough. We need a longer, pokier stick here. This is a very delicate ship extraction method. Very professional. Okay, we'll keep going. Your stick can never be too long. And then we need a landing gear on the end. There we go. Let's rotate that around. Perfect. Now let's weld it up. Yeah, this is going to be very delicate poking. Very delicate operation, this. And we'll just weld along here. Okay, and it's yellow, obviously, for safety reasons. I mean, if they had, like, CCTV in here, and they were like, oh, I wonder how that engineer got that ship out. Did they fix it up and do it safely? No, they didn't. They built a giant pokey stick. Oh, we need some iron. Hold on, let's see what we've got on board. Okay. We can always steal some iron, can't we, as well? There we go. Get some steel plates and switch it to steel plate mode. Ah, will there be enough room to pull back and turn? we can make it work. We can make that work. We didn't think that far ahead. Okay, now the pokey stick. Perfect. This will definitely work. I saw what someone called that station then. Right, let's bring it forward. Let's just check with the landing gear options. Okay. So we want, in this particular situation, we want auto dock on, so we can stick it like a magnet. Okay, gentle. Easy does it. Let's just check that we're lined up here. Okay, so a little bit more to the left and we're there. We've nearly extracted this. This is where we need pistons. You're right, Stone, we do. We need pistons for this moment. Okay. Oh, we've got it. We've got it. Hold on, let's just check for connection. Yes, we have connection success. Okay, now the extraction begins. Okay, I might be able to, you know, parallel park and drive vehicles in real life, but this might prove to be a little bit harder. Oh no, you might be right. We might be too. Oh, whoa! We're shaking. Don't shake it around too much, Aaron. Don't shake it around. Okay, behave yourself. Let's extract this gently. Oh, I can hear scratching. It's not going well, this, is it? Oh, right, okay. Maybe we need a timeout. Let's have a timeout, I think. Okay. So it looks like we can continue doing this scraping technique. This is the worst way of getting this out. I don't recommend trying it like this at home. But we're going to achieve it anyway. Even if it's not in the best condition when it comes out. No, Clang is not coming. Okay, so how did we get in here? Was there a hole behind us? Yes, there was, right. Hold on. Behave on that stick there. We really seem to have messed up the centre of gravity on this ship or something. It's not liking it. Okay, nice gentle reverse now. We've got this. We've got this. We've definitely got it. Oh! Yeah, it does need pistons. Because I know there was a lot of feedback as well about the control of the ships. And using the mouse control. And some players were struggling with mouse control. Some players were doing really well with it. There we go. Right, let's return this ship. This is a very legit way of returning this ship. Oh. Well, thank you guys for the ones who didn't believe in us. We did it. We made it out alive. I mean, I could just imagine imagine the fun of when you're playing with your mates and whatnot, and you're trying to solve some of these contracts like this. You know, the different ideas people will come up with to solve the problem. Okay, so we've just got to remember that our stick's in front of us here, so we don't want to ram into the thing and rip off the front. Okay, here he is. And Doggo is wanting my attention at this critical time as well. Little bit of break. Let's slow it down. Here we go. I know a lot of people wanted them SC1 flight controls. Oh no, we've lost control. We've lost control. Hold on, we'll bring it back around. Let's pop out the cockpit a second. I think we just got a bit too much momentum on the front. But I know it's something that has been reported, guys, and get your feedback in there about the flight control. Because I know some players, when they're mining, when they're pressing up against objects, they've been reporting that, they need a better sense of control. Right, now we need to return the ship without poking the ship to death. Okay, it just doesn't stop this thing, though. It's like driving like a freight train. Like, we drive past the whole point first. Okay, let's bring it around. Slow and steady wins the race. I felt like I should have built a ship for this. How many of you guys are still trying to bodge the contracts with this original, sled ship? Or how many of you actually built your own ship to do these and make it easier for yourself? Okay, here we go. Coming in. Oh, and we've done it. Yes, we have. Let's get back to the contract terminal. Oh, you know what? I don't think they're going to care now if we just give this a poke. Oh, whoa! Okay, well, that was... Right, okay, that's one way of getting rid of the thing. Right, we feel more agile now. We're more aerodynamic with that thing on the front. Let's head back to the contract terminal. Yeah, so we'll head back to the contract terminal and we'll wrap it up there. So it is just a really quite tiny update, this, but still 2 more contracts, another sector for you to explore. And remember, if you want to get yourself a plushie, there is still time. We've got till the 30th to get one. So check it out. The new Space Engineers 2 plushie is actually really cool. I'm looking forward to getting mine. And if you do want to support the team any further, remember, we do have our Pioneer Edition. So if you want to upgrade to Pioneer Edition, it's always a great way of supporting Space Engineers in the team. There we go. Yeah, we just need a bit more forward thrust, don't we? So that we can actually stop in time. Okay, keep it moving. Here we go. Yeah, we need... When we get them pistons and rotors, that'll be a momentous time for so many players. Because I remember Space Engineers 1 really came alive when I got pistons and rotors and I started building wacky doors and all sorts of other things. But no new blocks in this little update. Just 2 new contracts to experiment with and this new sector. So you've got a little bit more of an area to colonize. But the area is just a space sector. Okay, we're nearly back at the contract terminal. Yeah, I don't think I've ever spent this long in Space Engineers 2 in space. Usually I'm always down on a planet, you know, just enjoying the scenery. Flying through the canyons. Oh, that's a good question. Will pistons and rotors be more stable in Space Engineers 2? I know if Marek is watching this, he'd like to hope so. But, you know, Clang is a mysterious creature. And just when you think you've escaped it, it can always come back. But there's a lot of mechanics in Space Engineers 2 that are far more stable than Space Engineers 1. So I'd hope that Clang will behave itself. But we're still experiencing a bit of Clang here and there, especially when you get cheeky. More door types. Everyone loves a door. Everyone loves a door. Big doors. Hangar doors. Okay, let's try and dock this thing in. We're bringing it in now. Get access to that contact terminal and complete this contract. Okay, we'll leave it parked here for the minute. And we'll take a look inside. So not too bad. It was a nice extended contract, that, where it took us through multiple stages. And it's always quite soothing doing a contract, like being told where to go and kind of what to do as well. I mean, it's nice to do sandbox stuff, so let's complete that. And let's check our colonization of this sector. So that's completed 50% of this sector. And it's unlocked the second one. Salvage shipbreakers. Ooh. A hydrogen hauler was damaged to a point. Okay. There's no use repairing it. The ship is currently blocking a construction yard, so we need your help to dismantle it and keep the components. Oh, we can keep the components! Even better! Should we accept it and just fly out and have a quick look at it? I think we should. Let's accept it and have a quick fly out. We'll have a quick fly out and see what it's like. We don't need this pokey stick on the front though, do we, anymore? Let's do a quick field modification. If we can. Oh no, we're in a safe zone out when we can't do. Okay, active contract 45.26. And there's questions about what about scripting? All things for the future. We're only laying the foundations at the moment with the planets and the worlds that we're building. Beware, beware. Let's see. Oh, that's an interesting idea, though, about the skyboxes being slightly different for each sector. That could be some real good feedback to leave for the team. Because then you'd kind of know, you know, by the skybox what sector you're in as well. And change kind of the vibe and the atmosphere. Something I'd definitely bring up. Oh, it's a bit of a narwhal ship, isn't it? Very pokey. Let's turn our inertia dampeners off as well, save some fuel. How are we doing on battery? Okay, really bad, but the solar panel and the reactor's helping us. AI blocks. AI blocks. Ooh. Well, it depends what you mean by AI blocks. Do you mean AI blocks in like NPCs because NPCs are on the roadmap? Or do you mean AI blocks in like drones and things that you can build? Because I definitely see them being somewhere in the future. Even though I myself can't put my finger on where they'd be. Realistically, you're right, skyboxes wouldn't change in a simple jump between sectors. Will there be any voxel building planned for survival in the future? Voxel building? What do you mean by voxel building? Do you mean like digging out with a shovel? Constructing things like that? Drones, yeah. I think drones is definitely something that we're looking at in the future, especially, you know, Marek loves his drones. So if he doesn't, you know, build drones, I'd be very surprised, or allow you to build drones, I'd be very surprised. So drones is something that's really cool in Space Engineers 1, and, you know, I'd really hope it makes a return in Space Engineers 2, but it obviously not got a point on the roadmap just yet. Okay, 13 kilometers away. We might have to engage our thrusters soon. Yeah, the placing voxels in survival is something that a lot of people have discussed. I mean, this is another one. This is why we're always saying that the PR team is like, get on that support portal, because we're always scanning it and we're relaying the information to the team, and the team are stopping by there and checking the information out there as well. Yeah, there was some concept art for an interesting voxel tool, wasn't there, Stone? Okay, so we're going to have a quick look at this, and then we're going to wrap this up, because I want a contract to be sort of, you know, whoa, hold on, the narwhal ship is nearly losing it. We'll have to bring it in harder. So this one looked really interesting. I like the idea of trying to salvage an area. And this one looks like another larger contract, especially because if these are like 50% contracts. Oh, I still haven't recharged. Oh, no. Oh, no. I think that's why my ship is responding absolutely. Here we go. Okay. Let's put ourselves down here nicely. Let's have a look at this thing. Oh, this is a beauty. This is so beautiful. It deserves the HUD to be turned off. If you want to turn the HUD off for a bit of a beauty shot, you can always use U to disable your HUD. Oh, look at that big thing. I'd be so tempted just to steal this thing. So much for not being, you know, salvageable. This could definitely be salvaged. They're the hydrogen tanks. Look how they've blown out. And I like how when the hydrogen tanks blow up like that, they create that ripple sort of effect. You know, like the pressure waves got to them. Very nice. It's burning the engine bay here at the back. So, what I will do is I will put that screen there, and we'll have a final round of any questions, and I'll quickly recap of this micro update. On top of that, I'd like to thank you guys for so much support. You guys, the community is amazing. Like, we love you so much, and we love the feedback that you guys are giving us. It is really shaping Space Engineers 2. When we released this at the beginning of the year, and we had some limited features, and we got your feedback, and we built and stacked upon that. The roadmap, you know, having a good roadmap on the website there so you can view it, that we're updating. And of course, with every roadmap, things do have to change, and we have made some changes to that roadmap, so it's always nice to check back in. But to wrap that up, I think it's a nice tiny, a mini sort of festive update. 2 contracts and a little sector for you. And let me switch this over to back to full screen Aaron mode here. So transition into full screen Aaron mode. Yeah, so thank you guys for joining us on this little adventure. It's not often I get a chance just to play like this, so it was really fun, and I hope you've enjoyed it as well. But stay tuned for our next vertical slice and further updates as well. And remember, if you haven't got yourself a plushie, there's still time. If you're interested in the Pioneer Edition, supporting us further, there's always that there as well. And I'll have a quick scan through any comments now, and we'll do a quick question wrap up before we get to the end. Okay, let's have a look. Okay. Not too much. I think we'll wrap that up there. Like I said, guys, always keep that feedback coming. Head over to that support site. We've had some great discussions here as well today, and I'll take a capture of the chat and break it down and let the team know and make them aware of it. So thank you guys just so much for sticking around, hanging out with us here, doing a bit of construction, a bit of strange ship extraction, and we'll see you guys next time.